at what are the eligibility criteria of getting a Commonwealth scholarship. Now, first and the foremost eligibility criteria is that you have to be a citizen of a British Commonwealth. So there are 23 countries that are listed in Commonwealth. You have to be a permanent resident of these countries. Okay, so like I said, India is one of the Commonwealth nations. So you are very much eligible to make an application. Secondly, you should be having a valid undergraduate degree to make an application for the Commonwealth Scholarship. And this degree has to be at least upper second class, which is 2:1, or second class, which is 2:2, in terms of you to be eligible to make an application. Or if you are willing to pursue a PhD program, then of course you need a valid master's degree. Now, again, point to note, Commonwealth Scholarship do not normally fund your second master's in the UK. They don't do that. That is not, one of the common things. But if your second master's is aligned with the 6 developmental goals that I have just listed, and if you can, clearly demonstrate the purpose of your second master and prove that, the skill with this new program that you will learn will actually impact the developmental crisis that you're going to address, I'm sure Commonwealth Commission do take this into account as well. So in a normal practice, they do not fund second masters, but yes, in exceptional cases, and if there is, if you can produce a solid statement, then of course yes. So that is the second requirement. The third requirement is, of course, you have to produce your proof of identity, which I said that, you have to be the citizen of that country. So this is the only requirement. The third important requirement is that, you should be able to submit the proof that you are unable to fund your studies in the UK without this scholarship. So this is actually for students who are really, in a need of financial support and cannot otherwise support the studies independently on their own. So that proof of, support is also required. So these are the 3 important eligibility criteria. Now, what are the documents that you need to make an application? So the first document would of course be all the transcripts of your qualification. So if you are applying for your master's program, then there has to be the proper undergraduate transcripts. If you're applying for PhD programs, then there has to be the master transcripts as well. Then there has to be a solid proof of your work experience. Now, there is no such condition that you cannot have a gap year after your graduation and you have to opt for immediate masters in the UK. You can of course do your undergraduate program, work for a couple of years, and then make an application for your postgraduate studies in the UK. It's absolutely fine. But what they need is that you should be able to give the proof of all your past employment. Along with that, you should be able to relate your past employments with the, program that you're going to study in the UK. It has to have a relevance that, you have been working in this field for so long, and this is the place you need to develop your skills, and this is the program that will help you meet your goals, and this is where you can address the developmental issues in your home country. So if you can align all of this together, then of course it all makes sense. But then it's a mandatory requirement, and it is a part of your documentation during the application process, that you need to give all your past employment history along with explanation of each employment in not more than 100 words, that why you pursued that employment and how is it related to your current field of study. So that is something which is kind of important. And then what is important is that, of course, your passport copy is again a part of the documentation, but the another important set of documentation that you will be required to submit is your developmental impact statement. Now, what do I mean by developmental impact statement? It is kind of a statement of purpose. When you normally make an application to any of the UK university, you have to submit a statement of purpose. That statement of purpose is basically, meant to make the university aware that why are you choosing this particular topic to study, and how will this help you in building your own skills, or growing your personality, or how it will help in your moving forward in your career and all of that stuff. So that is what the statement of purpose actually is. The development impact statement is something which is divided into 4 parts. And whoever wishes to apply for this Commonwealth application, you must listen it carefully, that there are 4 parts of this development impact letter. The first part needs to address the developmental crisis that you are going to handle. So along with this 6, and there could be anything, maybe you are fighting gender equality, or maybe you are, you want to argue pay parity, or, diversity, inclusions, or climate change for that matter. So it could be anything, any developmental crisis that you wish to address. And the second part, and the second element of the first part is that how are you going to link that developmental crisis with the 6 developmental goals? You need to align that crisis with one of the developmental goals. So that makes your first part. So basically the problem statement and the goal that you're going to link that problem statement with. So that is your first part. Second part is that how will this new program that you're going to study in the UK, and the new skills that you will learn here in the UK, will have an impact on this developmental crisis? How will this, how will you make use of this new learning and this new degree to make an impact in this developmental crisis? How will you do that? Second, the third element of this impact statement would cover the outcome of your effort. So whatever skills and whatever new strategies you would implement in addressing this crisis, what will be the outcome of that? As in, you have to say that, my effort will change XYZ, or it will improve climate change to X%, or neutralize carbon neutralization to Y%. You need to give the impact, and you should be able to clearly state that. And the last part of your development statement should be that how are you going to measure that impact? And that is extremely critical, that you can say that my effort will bring this change, but how much of that change will happen? You need to quantify it. You need to tell them how are you going to measure it. That will be your 4th part of your developmental statement. So this is kind of a critical document here. This is extremely important because the reviewers will be assessing this basis their 6 developmental goals. And if it aligns well, then of course, there are a lot higher chances for you to get this scholarship. So that is how the documentation is.